Hey ladies, today we're talking about why nice girls finish last. We've all heard the phrase, nice guys finish last, but this applies just as much to women. If you're overly nice, constantly putting others before yourself, and lack strong boundaries, you'll end up being overlooked, used, and unfulfilled. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about being rude, it's about being smart. Being kind is a strength, but being too nice without boundaries is a weakness. Let's break down why this happens and how you can avoid it. Firstly, the problem with being too nice is that when you're a nice girl, meaning overly accommodating, afraid to say no, always giving people the benefit of the doubt, you set yourself up to be manipulated and taken advantage of. The world doesn't reward passivity. History, psychology, and personal experience all prove that the strong advance and the weak get exploited. Think about it. Why do certain people always get what they want? It's not because they're necessarily the best, the prettiest, or the most talented. It's because they know how to assert themselves, demand respect, and set clear expectations. Nice girls, they tend to say things like, I don't want to seem mean, or I don't want to upset anyone, or I feel bad saying no. And this is exactly why they finish last. Secondly, strength is what earns respect. The key to success in relationships, business, and life isn't niceness, it's strength. Strength means knowing what you want and what you will not tolerate. Strength means setting firm boundaries and sticking to them. Strength means recognizing when someone is trying to manipulate or take advantage of you. A woman who is kind but firm will be respected. A woman who is too nice and too accommodating will be walked over. You don't get what you deserve in life, you get what you demand and position yourself for. Thirdly, boundaries are everything. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Nice girls who don't set boundaries will always lose. People will push you as far as you allow them to. If you tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or bad behavior, even once, you send the message that it's acceptable. And guess what? It will keep happening, especially in relationships. Men will test how far they can push you. Many males are lazy and lack character, and they lack the understanding of what it means to be a real man, which is they lack honesty, respect, integrity, transparency, and having a protector and provider mentality. If you come across a man like that, he will want to take from you, and he will have no consideration for your feelings or the effect his selfish behavior will have on you. He will try to test how much he can exploit you. He will try to get everything he wants from you for free without putting in any effort. If you lack boundaries and the understanding of these types of men, you are going to get used and abused and end up most of the time feeling really crap afterwards. Because let's face it, no one likes to be used or abused. Even in your work or personal life with coworkers or friends, you need to have boundaries which signal that you will not be walked all over. To start setting boundaries, you need to say no without feeling guilty. No is a full sentence. Stop over-explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone a justification for protecting your time, energy, or peace. Recognize red flags early. If someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them. Prioritize yourself. Stop putting everyone else's needs above your own. An example of a time when I had to say no at work was when I joined a new company. A colleague of mine was selected to do a food cart duty, which basically meant that he had to take an hour or two out of his day to push around a food cart to serve colleagues sweets and tea. He didn't want to do it, so he asked me if I could, because seeing as though I was the newbie, he thought I would just say yes. However, I had a very high-pressure job, which meant I couldn't afford to take any time out of my day to cover him, as I had not pre-planned it. So I said no. He proceeded to have a sook and tried to make me look like I'm the bad one for not helping him out. I stood my ground and I made it abundantly clear that I have deadlines and priorities that I will not be able to ignore, and he will just have to find a replacement or do it himself. There's plenty of people in the company. You see, people will try to test you, push your boundaries, and abuse and manipulate you, but don't let them. Fourthly, knowledge is power. Educate yourself on human psychology. One of the biggest reasons women get manipulated is because they don't understand human nature. They assume everyone has good intentions and they project their own kindness and empathy onto others. But the truth is, people will test you. Some will manipulate you, guilt trip you, or try to exploit you if you don't know how to navigate human interaction. Understanding human nature, and in particular, how the male mind works, will make you powerful and savvy. It will save you a lot of lost time, wasted energy, heartache, and heartbreak. Unfortunately, they don't teach you this in school, so you will need to make the effort to learn it yourself through books. I really recommend audiobooks from Audible because I could be driving and listening to my book and learning something new. You can also watch videos or take courses. So educate yourself on basic psychology and human behavior, how power dynamics work in relationships, and the difference between being kind and being weak. Once you understand how the world actually works, not how you wish it worked, you'll make better decisions, set stronger boundaries, and manifest a life you're proud of. There are several psychological and sociological studies that support the idea that being overly nice can lead to being taken advantage of in different contexts. While kindness and generosity are generally positive traits, research shows that excessive agreeableness, lack of assertiveness, and being perceived as overly accommodating can lead to exploitation. There are a few relevant studies that looked into this concept. For example, the doormat effect. People exploit the overly agreeable. Research by Dr. Pat Barkley of the University of Guelph in 2017 found that excessively generous people are often exploited by others who take advantage of their kindness. The study showed that people who are too nice, especially without setting boundaries, are often seen as easy targets for manipulation. The key takeaway from that study was that being kind is valuable, but without firm boundaries, it invites exploitation. The second study was about dominance and aggression in human nature, the strong take from the weak. Evolutionary psychology suggests that dominant individuals or group often exploit weaker, more submissive ones. A behavior observed in tribal warfare, colonialism, and personal relationships. The social dominance theory by Sidanius and Prato, 1999, explains that hierarchies naturally form in human societies, and dominant groups tend to take advantage of more passive groups. The key takeaway from that is that throughout history, being overly trusting or too nice has often led to being conquered, used, or manipulated. The third study was the good girl trap. Men exploit naive women. Research on sexual coercion and manipulation shows that women who are overly accommodating or afraid to say no are more likely to be pressured into situations they don't want. A study in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence in 2008 found that men who seek to exploit women often target those who are inexperienced, passive, or too polite to reject their advances outright. Jonathan and others in 2010 studied the dark triad personality traits, Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy, and found that individuals with these traits often exploit nice people in relationships. A lack of firm boundaries in women makes them prime targets for manipulation. At the end of the day, you can either be the woman who gets what she wants or the woman who constantly settles. It all comes down to self-respect. A woman who respects herself doesn't chase. A woman who respects herself doesn't entertain disrespect. A woman who respects herself doesn't give her time and energy to people who haven't earned it. If you don't respect yourself, why would anyone else? Nice girls finish last because they let themselves be put last. They don't set boundaries, they put others before themselves, and they let people take advantage of their kindness. Don't be a nice girl. Be a strong woman. Be kind, be compassionate, but never be weak. Learn psychology, master human interaction, demand respect, and most importantly, respect yourself first. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are below. What's the one lesson you've learned about being too nice? Let's talk about it.